I need to tell you something, and I want you to listen carefully, because what I'm about to say took me more than 50 years to understand. And if someone had told me this when I was younger, my life might have been very different. You see, when people talk about living longer, they usually talk about diet, exercise, vitamins, doctors, all those things. And sure, those things matter. But after 77 years on this earth, I've learned something surprising. Living longer isn't really about adding years to your life. It's about removing the things that slowly kill you every day. My name is Thomas. I'm 78 years old, and I spent most of my life believing the wrong things about health, success, and what it means to stay alive. For more than 50 years, I thought living longer meant working harder, achieving more, and securing the future. But the truth? Most people aren't dying from age. They're dying from the way they live. Let me explain. When I was a young man, I believed stress was normal. Everyone around me was stressed. My father worked 12 hours a day in a factory. He would come home exhausted, barely speaking, fall asleep in the chair, and wake up to do it all over again. That was life. That was what men did. So when I started working, I followed the same path. Work harder, sleep less, push more, ignore the body, ignore the mind, ignore the warning signs. By the time I was 40, I was successful. Good salary, nice house, 2 cars in the driveway. But my body was already paying the price. I had headaches almost every day. My blood pressure was high. I was always tired. And the strange thing was, I thought that was normal. Everyone around me was living the same way, always rushing, always worrying, always chasing the next thing. But something happened when I turned 52 that changed everything. A friend of mine, his name was David, collapsed at work. Heart attack, just like that. David was only 54 years old, healthy-looking guy, successful, hard worker, exactly the kind of man society respects. At his funeral, I remember standing there, looking at his wife, his children, his co-workers, and one thought kept repeating in my head, that could be me. Because the truth is, David didn't die suddenly. His body had been warning him for years: stress, overwork, no rest, no balance. And slowly, silently, it was destroying him. That was the first time I started asking myself a different question. Not, how do I become more successful? But, how do I actually stay alive long enough to enjoy my life? It took me decades to realize something most people never understand. The biggest threat to your life isn't age, it's stress. Chronic stress, the kind people carry every single day. Worrying about money, worrying about status, comparing themselves to others, trying to prove something to the world. All of that pressure, all of that tension, slowly wears the body down. And the sad part, most people don't even realize it's happening. They think the real danger is junk food or lack of exercise. But I've known plenty of people who ate healthy, went to the gym, and still lived miserable, anxious lives. Their bodies were strong, but their minds were exhausted. And that kind of exhaustion shortens life just as much. When I was about 60, I met a man who completely changed the way I see aging. His name was Robert. Robert was 89 years old, and I swear to you, he had more energy than people half his age. He walked every morning. He laughed easily. He wasn't in a hurry. And the thing that surprised me most, he didn't worry about anything. One day I asked him his secret. I said, "Robert, how are you still so healthy at 89? He smiled and said something I've never forgotten. He said, "Most people don't die from getting old. They die from carrying too much weight." I looked at him and said, "What do you mean? Emotional weight?" And he nodded. regret, anger, stress, competition, fear, all of it. He told me something to change my life. He said, your body is designed to live a long time, but your mind keeps putting it under attack. And suddenly, it made sense. All the healthiest older people I knew had one thing in common. They weren't fighting life anymore. They had learned to let things go. Let me tell you something most doctors don't talk about enough. Peace is medicine. Real peace. Not the kind where everything in life is perfect, but the kind where you stop trying to control everything. Where you stop measuring your worth by your job, your money, or other people's opinions. When you live that way, something amazing happens. Your body relaxes. Your heart slows down. Your mind becomes quiet. And suddenly, life doesn't feel like a battle anymore. It feels like something you're allowed to experience. I'm 78 years old now, and I've lost many friends along the way. Some died young. Some died angry. Some died still chasing things that didn't really matter. But the ones who lived the longest, the ones who seemed the most alive, they had something different. They had lightness. They laughed more. They forgave faster. They didn't carry yesterday into today. And that, I believe, is the real secret to living longer. Not just breathing longer, but truly living longer. So if you're younger than me, listen carefully. Don't wait until your body forces you to slow down. Don't wait for a doctor to give you bad news. And don't spend your life thinking happiness is waiting somewhere in the future. Your life is happening right now. Every moment, every breath, every conversation. The secret to living longer isn't hidden in some complicated formula. It's simple. Reduce stress. Let go of what you can't control. Stop competing with everyone. Be present with the people you love. And most importantly, make peace with your life. Because a peaceful life is a long life. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And tell me something in the comments. What is one thing in your life right now that you know you need to let go of? Sometimes letting go is the healthiest decision you can make. And if you want more conversations like this, subscribe and join me again. Because after 50 years of learning life the hard way, I still have a few things worth sharing.